racist and frankly embarrassing rants that he was putting online under a
I
pseudonym.
really need to do something about my lighting. Let's see. No,
Oh, wings.
settings. I need to put this over
This
here.
is what it sounds like to donate. All right, so I have
This Taylor bit
There we
reminds
go.
me so
muted
much
Wings'
of
stream.
OPKA where
I'm
it
hoping
was
he can
more
hear me.
trolley. I love
I
it.
can hear you now.
Hey, Wings. What's up, man?
There we go. Another day in paradise.
All right. I'm just thinking about how best to share. Work. Hang in there.
Sorry about that. I totally did a boomer move.
I feel you, bro.
Like I seen a window popped up and I just instantly exited it out without reading what it was.
I can't. You know how in OBS you hit alternate and it like crops? Not doing it. It's just cropping different in OBS.
I don't do all that.
Chat, help me out. I can't crop. Shit. All right, I'll just put you on the other side. I'm not gonna crop. I'm just gonna slide you over.
Sounds like to donate.
All right, I'm boomering this thing up too.
About the 8. One Chevy engine for me. About to buy one and miss
like,
truck
you ever
talk.
help an old person out with like a computer problem?
Dude, I solved my own problems. That's so yes.
Well, if you ever help like a really elderly person out, they sound so prideful when they say like, yeah, an error message popped up. I clicked off as fast as possible. I need that error message. It's guiding you.
So bro, by the way, I didn't mean to pressure you into like dual common me or something. For all I know, you don't want to do it.
Well, I thought it was, you know, like some people will like social engineer things to happen. They'll be like, they'll go to somebody's stream and like pester them to do it. And then as soon as they agree, they'll go to somebody else's stream and pester them to do it. I figured that's what was actually going down.
That is what happened. Yes. That's
okay.
That's how we got here. So they're upset because I'm showing you delayed, but I don't have real-time wing stream. Unless you want to do video on Discord. I don't know. Chat, do you want his picture or not? Sorry, Wings. I know this must be hearing me talk to my chat, but you can have wings delayed or you cannot have wings at all.
Like,
all right, yeah. So, dude, let's do wings updates. I'm quite curious. One,
okay,
is the rumor true that you got a new truck?
Yes.
What'd you get?
2018 Silverado.
Nice.
C71.
Nice. How do you like it?
It's hard to critique it without people using it against me. Like, one, I've been very harsh with Chevrolet over the last 3 or 4 years, mainly because.
But Lucine's a Chevy, right? Isn't that
Christine?
Christine. Okay, yeah.
Christine was a Chevy. It was an LS2 iron block. Mm-hmm. But my problem with Chevrolet wasn't so much their product, but their business practices. Like Chevrolet closed a lot of like factories down without warning and moved them overseas or like to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And this was after Trump had given them a tax break. And before that, you had the Obama-Bush like stimulus package.
Mm-hmm.
And like GM's been bailed out twice at this point. But at the same time, like I've always enjoyed vehicles I had with Chevrolet. So it's kind of like, and not to mention there's an issue I'm having with like sound leakage in the cab of the truck. The truck only has 8,000 miles on it or something like that.
Nice.
So it was a GM certified vehicle, but it's direct ingest, gasoline direct injected, and so that means it has high pressure injectors on it. And you can kind of hear them on the firewall under heavy load, like when you're pulling a trailer and stuff. And it sounds like either like a steering grommet or like some point in the firewall isn't fully insulated. But every time I send it in, they never can hear it.
I think my Tacoma had something similar. Like if you really gave it the gas, there was a different kind of sound. It might have been injectors. But I think I know what you're talking about.
Right, but I feel like a truck, like I've driven other people's, and it doesn't have that sound. And I feel like it's a sound leakage issue. It's not really like anything's wrong with the engine. It's just that I'm hearing the injectors through the firewall.
So what do you still have? Do you have the Mustang?
No,
You have
I sold my other truck and I traded in the Mustang for the equity on it.
okay, okay. So when I got my F-150, it's also 2018. I
Mhm.
was like blown. I think things that were ordinary for other people were amazing for me. Like power windows, that's pretty slick. Power doors, I mean,
You didn't have power windows in the Tacoma?
chill, bro. We're not made of money here.
Come on, power windows became standard in like 95.
It's a 90. Oh, it was an '03. Never mind.
Yeah,
But,
it's 03.
but like, so that was nice. But then other things like my cruise control, if I catch up to the car in front of me, it slows down. That was a big game changer.
My wife's car has that.
Apple
It's
CarPlay is
nice.
nice. Yeah, it is really nice. It is really nice. Apple
Like, 'cause
CarPlay is cool.
you can set it to 60, and if somebody's like going like 58 in front of you, the car will just adjust for you. You don't really have to break it and reset it or go up and down.
It's
Like,
great.
I don't know about you.
Mhm.
One thing I always worry about with cruise control, especially because I drive with cruise control a lot, is wearing the buttons out to the point where they rub out like the arrows and stuff,
Oh, okay.
and it'd be a cosmetic issue. I dislike that. And they sell those parts for like $50 a pop at the dealership.
Hmm.
And it's like, I know I'm going to wear them out and I know I got to replace them over and over and over again. Which always makes me wonder, like, how did these buttons on my truck wear out, but my TV remote is good forever?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I guess hard plastic versus soft rubber, but yeah, I don't know. My truck spoiled me in a bunch of ways that I really like, and I think that other people had been living with these advancements for some time. But yeah, it's my I spoiled myself with it. Oh, you're married. Half the
Yes.
people I talk to are like, is he really married? Is it a troll? Is he you married, right?
I'm married, yes. But
For
obviously I can't give details about that, but I am married.
well, you married about a month now?
2.
2 months. Well, congratulations.
Because I got married in a private ceremony. Then we originally were going to do a big ceremony, and
Mhm.
then COVID got really bad, so we decided to do a small thing, and we got married. But she already paid like $800 for a dress, so like she really wanted to use it.
Mhm.
So in turn, I had to go spend money on a suit and all these other things. Like,
Dude, it was worth it.
so
You look fucking
it,
pimp in that suit. I showed it to
I
my
did,
whole
I did,
stream. We all looked at it. You look skinny in
well,
it.
there's well, that was only half the suit. I didn't have like my tails on or my cufflinks or anything like that there. So there's better pictures. I just can't share them.
Okay. Well, fuck. I like the picture you did share. So,
Yeah, because
uh,
if anybody's wear a suit jackets are not fun to wear, especially in South Carolina heat.
summer. Yeah. What? Say 2 months ago. So it was June-ish.
Somebody in my chat asked me, "Do you use trucks for design for more for looks and vibe?" I actually have 2 trailers. I have an enclosed trailer and I have an open trailer that I use for different various things. And I just like a truck better. I like the utility a truck brings. And trucks nowadays are designed just like it's like a bigger crossover. You're going to give away some gas mileage for comfort, and obviously, what word am I looking for here? Capability.
Yeah. There's some utility to it. And I don't know if the guy who asked you the question is a homeowner, but if you become a homeowner, you find reasons to need a truck. You know, someday you
Yeah,
buy a tool, someday you buy a sheet of plywood or
I was about to say, like, I
they,
bought so much plywood because, like, I live in a mobile home, obviously,
Mhm.
and they don't have really great floors. So, like, if you spill any kind of water on them, eventually you got to cut the floor out with a sawzall, and you got to put a new piece down. And like, I've been slowly but surely replacing my entire floor with like tempered wood that can take water, but the house didn't come with tempered wood from the factory.
Yeah. If you have a regular car, how do you bring home a roll of insulation? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it'll fit in the back seat, but bro, that sucks. Your back seat passengers are gonna itch for the rest of your life. So it's nice.
Or you see a person at I went to Walmart the other day, and this person was trying to stuff a 60-inch Vizio TV into their Malibu. They had the back seat out on the concrete. They were just trying to get this TV in that little car.
Yeah, man. I was trying to think what else is new. I don't know. Married life good?
Yeah, married life is fine. I mean, like, I feel I work better in a structured environment than I do on my own devices, and it's always better to have a partner in crime. Like, no longer do you have to face life as a solo unit. Like, you're responsible for your own food, everything like that. It's now it's a team based effort on everything. It's a team based effort on the bills, the money, where you're going for life, your desires, your dreams, and I like that. I like having somebody there at all times. My
People,
wife's awesome.
that's good to hear. Yeah, people underestimate it. This whole like someone on your side type thing, it's amazing. And especially with our jobs, sometimes like emotional support can be undervalued.
Mm-hmm. And like, granted, I'm in a little different scenario than you, because like I have people actively trying to find out every little thing about my wife
Oh.
and like bring her down, and I'm doing my best to try to protect her. And like that's why I kind of hit so hard back on like the Office Depot video and got the dude fired. Is because like he crossed a line.
Dude,
Like,
he
because
did
I signed up for this, she didn't.
wait. Was the Office Depot? I
Love
don't.
you,
How is that
Woody. You have
related
helped
to
me get past
her?
my hardest in life.
Because she's in the video.
I could never thank you
Oh,
enough.
I didn't realize that. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Other people could though.
gotcha. No, you
And I
were
was
right
kinda
about that. You were
I
right.
was kind of
Like, I don't know. I think you have a lawsuit. Like,
I've ran it by some lawyers, and like the only ones that claim that I have a lawsuit are the ones that want money up front. And I'm like, no, 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 no. If you're taking this, you're taking it on the idea of a payout toward the end. That would lets me know that you're motivated to get whatever payout it is.
you're
You
right.
know,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's right. I'll share a story. So after we had Hope, so Hope was born via C-section. This is a long story, so buckle up. Hope was born via C-section, and when they sewed up Jackie's belly again, they didn't do it right. They didn't sew up, I guess it's her uterus. So they sewed her skin up, and from the outside it looked normal, but her uterus, they just like forgot it. You know, the fuck, right? So about 2 years later, or whatever, a year and 3 months, we wanted our kids 2 years apart. That was the goal. So 1 year, 3 months, we do the math. We say, all right, time to start having kid number 2. And we try and we try and we try. And it's not working. And it's weird to us, right? Like it's not getting pregnant. We try month after month after month. And we know that this happens to people, but we're pretty youngish, right? We're like 27 or something. And it's weird that Jackie's not getting pregnant. And we went to this fertility expert. The fertility expert is like, well, how long did it take you to have the first kid? And we're like, like 45 minutes, which was a lie because it took like 15. But so like fertility problems weren't really our thing. So they put Jackie on. They tested me, right? You'll wank in a closet or something. I was fine. And they with Jackie, they gave her a shot. So she started like going bonkers and making like, I'm making up numbers, 6 eggs a month or whatever it is. And we did that for a while. And the first time she was pregnant, she like knew she was pregnant a week or two in, right? Like her boobs hurt and just felt it. She sensed it and she knew it. And there were times as we were trying when that happened again. She's like, I'm pregnant. I know it. I'm sure of it. And then she wasn't. And eventually they found out that her uterus wasn't sewn. What was happening is she was getting pregnant, but the baby
Losing the egg.
She was losing it. Yeah. So it like, I'd call it a miscarriage because there was fertilization happening, but it was like an on time period. Right. So it's weird. And, so we called an attorney, and it turns out with medical malpractice, the bigger your injury, the better your case. And there's like a stack ranking of attorneys out there. So if you lose a pinky finger, you get some shitty attorney. If you lose your fertility or somebody dies, you get like God tier attorneys. Like those are real harms that impact you for the rest of your life. You losing a leg or a lung or whatever. So, we had like North Carolina's big wig attorneys willing to take our case. And while that's brewing, we also were getting like her corrective surgery. And we went to
obviously not the same doctor.
Right. But what happened was when we went to the next doctor, he covered for the first guy. Like he went in and he's like, I've got all these after pictures. I can show you. I fixed this and this, but darn it to heck, all the before pictures, we lost those. And it's like, you fuck. Like I know what you did. And he
asked you a question.
Yeah.
Was the guy who delivered Hope, was he like a personal doctor that you were going to use again for the second baby? And like, did you have to sever a connection there?
I think I'm trying to think. So we went to the same doctor during the pregnancy, right? Like again and again. But when you actually deliver the baby, you get whoever from that practice is on call at the time. So the one that we saw throughout the pregnancy and kind of developed a personal relationship is not the one that was on duty when it was go time. So anyway, the doctor had even mentioned, the one who fixed her, that he didn't want to testify in court. And I didn't expect him to like delete the photos of half of the surgery, like the beforehand, and only have the after ones that showed his work. And after that, we had to like wait 6 weeks, and then next cycle, we had Colin. And anyway, somehow this tied into your story in my head. Like the class of attorney that you get is related to your damages and the way that they take the case. Like if they see that you have a winning case that is going to get a good payout, then you get top tier attorneys. If you have a shitty case that's not going to have a good payout, you get like ambulance chasers who want you to pay in advance. So I think you did everything right. I think that you
Shame Taylor had to go.
Well, I've talked to some the more reputable attorneys here, and like they said, you got a winning case, but like the payout's so low, it's not worth our time.
Yep.
And it's like,
this is what
basically they basically get advice they gave
Thanks
me,
for
like
keeping
legal advice was just see what
PKA
Office
going so
Depot
long.
would give you, which I wasn't in it for that. It was more about making a statement than anything else.
Yeah, the guy did you dirty at the Home Depot thing. He's not supposed to use security footage and make meme videos of you. Come on, man. Like this is a right and wrong thing there, and he was on the wrong side of that.
Right, and like another thing people are using it right now, saying I don't do the COVID things. Granted, when that was taken, COVID like mandate wasn't in South Carolina. We weren't mandated to wear masks at that point, and I hopped in for like a wire and a folder, stuff you get at Office Depot. I was in there all of 3 minutes.
Are you wearing a mask around now if you go out?
Yes.
Me too. I was pro mask emotionally, but also a hypocrite who didn't always wear one for a spell. And it didn't take long. Like I finally just threw the darn mask on because some stores required it. And I'm like, this isn't bad actually.
I was actually pro mask from the start, and I didn't have it on there out of coincidence because I was upset going into the store. Because I just came from Myrtle Beach Chevrolet, and they just gave me like I couldn't hear your sound, and I was frustrated. And I had to have this stuff because it was a cord. It's the cord right here on my microphone that had to go by. And like I was like, I'm just going to hop in here and grab this and whatever. I didn't think about putting the mask on because like you got to kind of train yourself. Like even now, I find myself walking back to my car to get the mask after I've made it halfway to the building.
I've got it in the cup holder on my truck, and I wear it now. I feel good. Like I go to the post office, and it's like I have a little privacy in public, which I kind of like. I feel like
I'm a robber sometimes.
Really? No,
Yeah.
It's not like I walk around feeling like people are judging me or looking at me. I really don't. But I put the mask on, and it's like I could get used to this. I like hiding. I guess I just like being a little more anonymous.
Like it's just weird walking into like a convenience store with like a mask on covering half your face, and like nobody's like freaking out because normally if you did that, you'd be asked to leave.
Depends where you are, right? Like at the post office, everyone had one I fit right in. I recently bought a lawnmower at the John Deere place, and these guys are country, right? They're full on. They're like literally farmers and mechanics for farmers and stuff, and no one had a mask on. I didn't wear a mask. I would have been the only person there. And I felt like when in
You
Rome.
felt like Joe Biden wasn't getting a lot of votes in that place.
Not a one. Not a one. Yeah. So you know, I didn't want to stick out. I just didn't wear a mask there. But by and large, I wear a mask now.
I feel weird at the store because there's this little country store I go to at my house right here, and
Mhm.
like there's a sign on the door that says "No mask, no store." You walk in, there's like 40 people there without a mask on. The only person pro mask is the owner, and he doesn't enforce it.
Yeah, or I do this acrobatic paragliding thing in Georgia, and when I'm there, we eat at restaurants. The whole restaurant mask thing seems dumb. What do you wear it for like the 3 minutes
You sit
before you
down.
start eating? Like no one else has theirs on because they're eating. Like they're already there. Um,
The idea is like COVID can live in the air, and it keeps the pathways to the tables as clean as possible.
I hear you, but because eating, can't wear a mask. No one has it.
Mm-hmm. I usually just pull mine under my chin.
Nah, I don't know. If it's a restaurant, I just drop it. But maybe that's a bad idea. I'm not sure. It's hard to follow the rules super well.
Well, like I go to the bathroom, I just want to flip it back up. I don't know. Like I take COVID seriously because I've lost somebody I knew firsthand. I can't say they're a great friend, but my mother's like best friend at work. She died of COVID-19 on one of the early on.
Damn,
Yeah.
that sucks.
So it's like this is real. Like, and I think a lot of the deniers don't have that experience. They don't see the effects of COVID-19 like on personal lives. Like they don't have anybody that's got it or anything like that. So it's like, oh, this is fake.
I think that's real common. You know, I don't know anyone who has it, therefore it's fake. Or like I know a guy whose dad tested for it, but he just believes that they're faking tests. You know, he's one of like, they sent back tests they never used on people and they came back positive. This whole thing is a giant conspiracy by Big Mask or something. Like,
Dude, the conspiracy theories are out of this world. I saw one the other day. It was basically, it's like when they send the children back to school, they're going to plant a fake COVID-19 patient in the schools, and they're going to start testing all the kids in the schools because that person was there without your permission, and all of them are going to come back positive, and then they're going to hold your kids until you inoculate yourself with this deadly vaccine. This is the mark of Satan. This is the 666, that kind of stuff. Like it's like, because they look at COVID-19 as like they're creating this deadly virus to kill off the population. And it's like, who benefits from that? Who benefits from most of the middle class dying from a horrible inoculation? Right?
The conspiracy theory I see all the time is that the government's trying to control you. They want you to wear a mask out of control. I'm like, what's the end game here? I don't get it. What are they getting out of this control? This mask wearing? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Your conspiracy theory, like it at least has some benefit. Like if they try to take your guns away for control, like, okay, I kind of get that. I understand why a government might be motivated to have an unarmed population.
My father's one of those people. Like he sent me a message the other day talking about how masks were deadly for you. I'm like, one person has a heat stroke from wearing a mask.
I'm with you.
It's like that's coincidence because surgeons wear masks all day, every day for decades.
Surgeons, drywall installers, painters.
Yeah, it's like there is no adverse health effects of it. You just don't like it.
Yes. And I think they don't like it out of a political statement. And it's a political statement. I have noticed that Republicans have much more trouble breathing through masks. Weird how that works.
I always find it funny that people who don't like wearing masks can breathe through cigarette filters.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Like I literally, a gas station talk again. I have the weirdest gas station. I live in the poor section of the South.
Okay.
That comes in, gets $2 of gas and spends $10 on cigarettes without his mask on in a place that requires the mask. It's like winners. Winners.
So how's Twitch treating you?
Which is treating me well.
Yeah.
Like, I have a lot of really good followers that are ride or die for me, that are here all the time. I'm like, I'm blessed to have some of the best mods on Twitch, which people would disagree because my mods are little gung ho, but they're trigger happy because they have to be, right? They always have to be on alert because so many people come by just to be buttholes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes you get banned for something small.
Is that good or bad?
It's a little bit of both. Like it's good that they're that thorough, but it's bad that sometimes somebody that with not ill intentions asked the wrong question that they legitimately wanted to answer to, but the trolls have taken this question and manipulated it or social engineered it to be a bad thing to me.
See, it's like you have to have inside knowledge to know why that question is
Right.
sensitive.
And some people don't come by every stream. Some people, like it might say I have like 500 concurrent viewers.
Yeah.
But I have like 2,500 people that come in and out over a 4-hour stream,
Sure.
right? How many people watching you at that exact point isn't a dictator of how much traffic comes in and out during a stream.
I follow. Yeah. I don't ban for very much on my stream, but I'd also probably don't deal with as much trolls as you do.
It's like today, they sent me something like I'd have to count them. I'm just guesstimate 20 chargebacks tonight or something like that.
Really, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's got to the point where I just keep like $1,200 in my YouTube account, my PayPal account just for that. So like until they get over $1,200 of like disposable income money from their mama, I don't really care.
Yeah, at Woodycraft we used to keep $5,000 as our minimum for the same reason. Like I think it was 15. It'd go from 5 to 15. We take it back down to 5, and we just do that all the time because you don't know. Sometimes you need to buy something and you don't want to be out of money.
Well, mine's just to protect me, so like they don't start digging into my bank account or something like that. Because PayPal's already. I've talked to enough people that they don't charge me the chargeback penalty anymore.
Ooh, damn, that must be nice.
So like I don't get that $20 penalty if I don't like go through the chargeback process.
Colin's peeking at me through the door. I don't know if he's trying to come in. Sorry.
Yeah. So like I normally just make them write it out now. So if you want your money back, you wait in 2 months. I'll wait till the last day. Click.
And give it to him.
That's the only power I have over them. Like they come here, they spam like racist words and things like that, and it's like,
does that work? I feel like they get caught. Oh, anyway, you can always get around it.
Well,
right. All you have to do is use the right number of 3s and 1s, and Taylor has the F slur bad. The F slur that rhymes with maggot, and he's like, I have it banned up to 7 Gs at this point. Like, how far am I supposed to go? And yeah, you can always say it if you want to.
Right, but like what a lot of them don't understand is like you got to show intent.
Yeah, right. Like you don't get in trouble as long as you're making a good faith effort. Some guy is spamming in my chat for you to unprivate PKA 101. What is that about?
I privated all my videos on my YouTube channel.
Oh.
And like some of them were like PKs that were only on my channel.
Oh, that must be why he wants it so much. Maybe it was. Oh, okay. Well, that could be.
And a lot of that comes from trolling. Like I have this guy that's like an apprentice lawyer that constantly messes with me, but he's very, very bad at not showing his hand. Like if he gets a deck of cards, he's the guy that's like full smiles when he sees he's got a good hand. Because he'll always like show me ahead of time what he's planning on doing to me. He's like, I'm gonna make a video of 100 things you said about Jesus, and I'm gonna send it to your wife's mama. like okay, from my track record, I know that you're about 2 clips into this. I'm just gonna private all my videos, so you can't make your video.
Yeah, that guy's motivated, dude. I don't know why. I don't know what fuels him to spend so many hours giving you a hard time. Nah, I'm baffled.
It's internet clout. That's the only thing I can think about. It has to be internet clout. He chases it.
People work hard for internet clout. People work super hard for that. It's a big deal. You'd think that I'd understand it, right? And you like for this job, but I'm like, bro, you're not getting anything for this. These are
Well,
like,
I think we're jaded on the fact because like we've experienced both sides of internet cloud at this point in our life. There's a positive and a negative that goes with everything.
mm.
And a lot of people don't get that. A lot of people live boring lives where they're unimportant.
Well, wait a second. We live boring lives where we're unimportant too. Maybe we shouldn't throw too many stones.
I disagree with you because
Okay.
somebody in the Middle East knows who Woody's gamer tag is. Somebody in the Middle East doesn't know Justin from the block.
Still boring.
Right. But you got to understand where you come from. Like a lot of these people just want to have validation. They want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of a bigger group. It's why religion works so well. Religion's more of an exercise in like community than it is in actually like people believing in what they worship. I know that's kind of like being broad, but I find people enjoy the community of like going to church much more than they do the actual worshiping of church. Make sense?
I'm thinking it through.
It's a dangerous topic, and I picked probably a worse one to do it with. But it's like the South. If you ask somebody to give you a Bible passage, they'll give you John 3:16. They'll give you a couple of the easy ones, but they won't really know what the book of Job's about, or the book of Numbers, or the book of Joel, for example. Like and how Joel was about like the locusts, coming through and how they had to burn the villages. They don't know any of that. They will claim to be Christian and they'll go to church every Sunday and they'll listen to the pastor talk about it, but it goes one ear out the other because they're really there because they like the idea of it. They like the idea of community and they like the idea of being a part of something greater than themselves. That's how gangs work. Like in LA, the Crips and the Bloods, people join gangs because they don't see anything else and they see the gangs taking over the streets or like controlling their little section of the world. So they want to be a part of that. People naturally have this clan mentality, at least my perspective.
Dude, so I'm watching your chat. And Nightbot just said, Wendy's chili is the life fuel that drives the dreams of champions. With 3 emotes, 2 of them being Wendy's chili and you looking like the Wendy's girl logo. I fucking love that you're leaning into that. I bet it works for you. I bet it's like, God, tell me that's not easier way to handle it than fighting against it, trying to get people to stop saying it.
I don't. Initially, I did.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, it's like some people will beat a dead horse till it's dead in the ground. You ever see Gone with the Wind where she beats the horse to death? That's the trolls. Like the whole Pepsi thing. I can't drink soda anymore.
Okay.
My stomach isn't shaped a way to allow it to have like gas in it. It goes straight up my throat every time I drink something with like carbonation.
The whole pain pleasure thing's out of whack. When you make that decision on soda, you say, no, it sucks more. That's good.
You burp a lot. It makes you feel like you went underwater too fast and it got up your nose.
Okay.
But like can't drink carbonation. Right? But they pretend like I drink a chili with like a Wendy's chili with a Pepsi all the time, and you can't even buy Pepsi at Wendy's. That's the whole. That's
true.
Wendy's is a Coca-Cola.
Fucking Wendy's noobs. But anyway, carry on.
But it's like it's annoying. I have a shrine to Coca-Cola. I know you've probably seen it before, but I do. I have a shrine to Coca-Cola because I love Coca-Cola.
Uh-huh.
And like now all of a sudden I'm known for Pepsi. Like I even have a Pepsi emote.
I see it. They're going wild with it. That's so dude, leaning into that shit is brilliant. Like it's worked great. So that it doesn't even bother me, but I did it with George Foreman. Are you aware of this story at all? The George Foreman background?
All I've heard was you would cashew nuts or something like that.
That one we could circle. That one doesn't make any sense to me, but they ran with it. But let's do the George Foreman thing. So a couple things happened at the same time. I once told this story of Hope. She was a freshman. She met a UNC basketball player. Now, these guys are like gods on campus. And it was just freshman orientation. She talked to him for like 10 minutes or so, and then they never saw each other again. And she recognized him as, I don't know, he just seemed like good at acquaintances. I'm trying to say, like, you meet someone and they make a good first impression. That's what I'm going for. He made a really good first impression, and that's all she knew of him, right? Hope's not hanging out with the UNC basketball team. Those guys are gods. And then later, the guy got kicked off the team. I don't want to get my story wrong, but I think he was a rapist who intentionally spread HIV or something wild like that. All right. Around the same time,
Not very godlike.
yeah, not very godlike. So around the same time, my son's parkour coach had a kid, and their first choice for watching their kid, because they both work, fell through, right? She turned out to be not a good babysitter. So Jackie stepped up, said she'd watch her, and now we watch.
Connecting the dots already on this.
Right? So now we watch this little girl. Her name is Freya. She's adorable. She's sweet. She's fun to have around the house, and that's that. So the internet put these things together and said that this was Hope's rape baby.
This is what it sounds
and
like
that the kid's name was George Foreman,
Woody,
which is the grill I used to
apologize
cook
for the
chicken.
interruption of this
Yeah.
intriguing conversation.
Hold on,
Those
I got a
are boxes.
But
donation.
will you consider one day playing Lego Indiana Jones on stream?
Banana slip slap, I'll come back to you. So they just started going with George Foreman thing for ages. And they named the kid George Foreman because that's the grill I used to eat chicken I talk about too much. And now I've got this little kid named George Foreman.
Give him the 10K wood
So
chip kappa.
I leaned into it, and now I call her George Foreman too. Not a problem. And it's just way better than trying to get the internet to stop doing something. And it is kind of funny. Like, I get it. But for a couple
I'm
weeks...
I'm over here wondering why you cook with George Foreman grills. Those things are terrible to clean.
I wouldn't know about cleaning. I don't Doesn't seem to take her too long. I've seen it happen. I don't know. I think it's quick, it's easy, and it's healthy. And like, we talk about pain pleasure with Pepsi for you. When I eat, what in my mind anyway registers as sinful food, it's like, man, it's not that I don't like this. It's that the guilt doesn't tie into how much I like it. It's a sometimes thing. And George Foreman chicken is kind of guilt free for me. So that's the thought process in my head.
I feel you on that one, homie.
And then the cashew thing. So I liked cashews when I was like 6 or something. And the family would sometimes go to movies and get snacks, and I'd get like, I don't know, what are those things called? It's like 2 tuna fishes of cashews, like that little can. And I'd eat them all myself. And when I did, it turns out cashews are related to poison ivy, like in the whole genealogy family. And some people, if you're very sensitive to poison ivy, can get a poison ivy rash from eating too many cashews, which happened to me. And at first we're like, why do I have poison ivy on my taint? Like, what the fuck? Like, how did that get poison ivy on it? I didn't poop in the woods or anything. And it turns out it was from eating cashews. Well, now I'm like Cashew Matthew for the rest of my life. And it's like, I don't even eat cashews anymore. I was 6. Back off. But it's what it is. Some of the genealogy. What is the whole like family of plants and animals called? What am I messing it up?
Genealogy?
It's not geology. That's rocks, right?
Genealogy.
That's what I called it, something close to that. Genome.
I don't know. I'm just taking a guess in the dark here.
Yeah. Whatever. My
That's for nerds.
My chat says genealogy. At least one person did. So we're astrology. Yeah, let's go with that. It's probably astrology.
Yeah.
So that was the genesis of the whole Cashew Matthew thing. I ate a bunch when I was 6 and got poison ivy, and now it's like,
I was in a very dark period of my life, and I was playing a game that made me upset, and people were making videos about it, and I felt like my life was going down the drain, and people have been harping on that one little 2-month period of my life in 2017.
I think I know the period.
Yeah.
You know what? As hard as it was for you to live through, I think it was good financially.
It was. I mean, like, I don't want to, like, I'm doing well myself, especially now since my house is paid for. Thanks, Trump. Which it just happened to line up that way. I got my Trump like stimulus check, and I owed like $100 less than the check was worth.
Dude,
like, I know where this is going.
I did that, but it was a fucking dancing competition. That's when I paid off my mortgage. It was like, thanks, who was it? Dance On, maybe? Like, I don't know. Really, I wasn't the best dancer in that competition. But what happened is I live streamed on YouTube every day. And while I live stream, I asked for people to vote for me. And I got the most votes and I won. And they changed, they added judges the next season so that assholes like me couldn't use their fan base to stack the deck. But hey, my house is
I
paid
gotta
for.
say this: the bank was not as enthusiastic as I was because I wanted like a party hat or something. You know, it's like it was like an emotional moment for me because I've been paying on this thing for like 15 years, and it's like just give me like this little slip of paper that says paid in full. It's like this is it.
Yeah, I think you get something in the mail, like a title or something. I forget. That feels good, but
My house is deeded out.
Yeah.
It was.
My chat said I robbed What's Up L of the of her title. And it's like, well, wait a minute. No, I beat What's Up L. She could have live streamed every day, you know, like it nothing against What's
She
Up
didn't
L.
properly use her network.
Yeah. I was out there grinding every single day. She, on the other hand, just danced and
She showed up to a dance competition when what really was a popularity contest, and
Perfect.
she didn't understand it.
She just set it and forget it. And I went out there grinding every day. That's why I won. Yeah. Also, behind the scenes, bros, they gave her like, I don't want to exaggerate, like 6 hours to do her routine again and again and again and get it perfect. They filmed it from all these different angles, and her routine had clones, so they filmed it again and again and again. And then they gave me like 15 minutes and kicked me out the fucking door. And they didn't even use my best cuts. Like the second one in particular, my choreographer got sick. And
You're trying to say the show might have been rigged if you didn't cheat your way through it?
Yeah. My choreographer was sick on the second round, so we didn't get to practice as much as I wanted to. Like I'm trying to teach myself in the hotel room by watching videos of her doing the routine. And I didn't do as well. But I'll tell you, I did all of it perfect, just not in the same cuts. So they could have edited together a perfect routine, and they didn't. But like with What's Up L, my God, there's literally like production value and clones, and they gave her 6 hours to do it, and they gave me 15 minutes, and like it wasn't fair. But I won, so I can't complain. I guess.
Good thing you were playing fair, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I you know, we all have our own life story, and the chapter where
you get your bag.
The chapter where I won a dancing competition and paid off my house is a good one, I think. You know?
That's a story that you can tell people.
Yeah.
Nobody else can top. How'd you pay this house off? Dancing competition. Do you dance? Not really.
You know, you might look at me and think I can't dance, but since I am an award-winning dancer, this is what an award-winning dancer dances like.
It's like the Oscars, right? Though it's like I'm looking at it just like the Oscars. The Oscars is a bunch of rich people giving each other awards on how great they are.
Sure.
It's all it is. It's like if you're not in the inner circle, you're not getting an award.
Oh, my chat asked how much I won on that dancing competition. So there was a bunch of it that was like appearance fees. I think I won. I think I know it right now. I think everyone got, well, at least I got $8,000 for the first stage of it. And then when they invited me back for round 2, that was $4,000. So that's 12. And then I got, and maybe it was 4,500 because I remember the end total. I got 25,000 for winning, and it turned out to be 37,500 for the whole thing together. But only $25,000 was for winning. The other 12.5 was.
Now here's the question: like, what state was that in?
California.
You had to pay double state taxes, right?
I don't remember.
I think California.
Probably.
In California, if you get winnings there, California state tax kicks in before they give it to you.
But you wouldn't pay both state taxes. You just, I might have paid California, or I might have paid North Carolina. I'm not sure.
I was under the impression that California takes their state tax, they give you the money, and when you go back, you got to pay state taxes on that when you pay your federal taxes.
That doesn't sound right to me. I think that you only pay.
It's not right. I think they double dip.
I'd have to look into. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I don't think there's any situation where you have to pay 2 states at one time. King of the Web. Oh, King of the Web. I won that too, but I didn't keep any of that money. I donated it to Write Love on Our Arms, which is like an anti-suicide.
Was King of the Web. I remember that.
It was just a popularity contest. I
What was the winnings though? Like what was that?
$7,000. It was $7
yeah.
grand. Yeah. Boogie nailed it. So after you win King of the Web, that's it. You can't play anymore. Like I think for a year you can't do it again. Boogie got like third place, second place, third place. Then he won it. And so he got like 500, 300, 800, 500, 300, 7,000. And it's like, motherfucker did so well. I won the first time I entered and gave it away. This guy got like 10 grand. I'm making it up, but this guy got like 10 grand all put together because he kept not winning, but getting like, you know, the second place and third place money.
What's your opinion on Boogie right now?
I seem to be the only guy who's not against him. Like I see Boogie.
Let me say this before you give your opinion. Like I see Boogie as a person that's had a drastic personality change the last 2 years.
So
and I don't think it's a personality change, but he's kind of dropped the Boogie character.
A frustration I've always had with Boogie was the fence sitting, right? You know, he'll talk about something, he'll try to appease both sides so that no one's mad at him. And in my opinion, it doesn't work. Like just stand up for what you believe in and let the chips fall where they may. I think it's a much better strategy. But that's not what he does. He tries to appease both sides and little fence sitting. But I also see him as a guy that like the internet just flipped a switch on and now the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Like they all decided they hate him. And I get it. He was putting his best foot forward on YouTube and then he goes to Twitch and he's almost self-destructive. We had him on PKA and there was a scene where someone was asking him about girlfriends or whores or something. And I think he took a stuffed animal, jumped on the bed and started humping the stuffed animal. Right. Mm-hmm. And Boogie's also a big guy. So it's kind of like it's not a great look. Right. He doesn't look like fucking Brad Pitt when
this
he's
is where
doing
I'm going to put the whores at, you know, like he started screaming like that.
And I'm looking at that and I'm like, what's going on in his head? Because I think he knows this is some level of career suicide. This is something that will fuel his haters, but he's doing it. So what's happening in there? What is going on between his ears that makes him self-sabotage like he does?
I'm under the impression that Boogie used to be like a porn website administrator. And he also was like a 4chan troll before he got into YouTube.
I know he was on 4chan, like he talks about that. He's an old fag is what he would call himself. Which Twitch don't mod me on that. I'm just it's a 4chan thing. You got to understand it's not about.
But I'm under the impression that he used to like make websites for pornography companies and be the administrator for them. Like that's what he did for money until he got so sick he had to go on disability or something like that.
I don't know. I've never heard that, but even so, like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand why. Better yet, like, I do understand why the internet said, oh my gosh, this guy isn't as pure as the driven snow as he seemed to be when he was on YouTube. Back when everything was edited and carefully curated and he only put his best foot forward, you would think that he was the most innocent guy in the world. And then he goes on Twitch and he shows a more like risque version of himself and people get really upset with him. Maybe I'm sitting in those shoes because like, what's fake exactly, right? Like you, a normal person, a guy who doesn't fake probably behaves differently in front of your mother-in-law than you do in front of your Twitch stream, right? You're probably a little differently at the Thanksgiving table than you would be at the office. And like, I don't know, I'm a little different on PKA than I am in front of my like paragliding friends or like.
I look at it like this, like I can make a much better argument on whatever topic you give me if I'm doing it in a structured YouTube video versus being on the spot.
Yep, that's true too.
And you're also, when you're on the spot, you're kind of feel pressure to be entertaining. And what Boogie finds entertaining is not as PG as what his views get on YouTube. That's how I've always looked at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Twitch is kind of weird in that sometimes there's this pressure to make moments, you know, and for better or for worse, maybe that was his idea. He was trying to make a clippable moment. But I still can't get past the self-sabotage. I don't get it. I feel like he has to know people are hard scoping him, looking for things to give him a hard time about, and then he gives it to him. And
I think a lot of it is anxiety.
okay,
Like I see him make a lot of mistakes I made during my YouTube channel infancy. Like what he's doing right now. Like his channel right now is just no longer is it like skits of Francis or like well thought out reviews or like, you know, really good takes on like social commentary.
mm-hmm.
It's him selling his mental health to make sure he can make his house payment the next month. Because like his views are, you know, his channel's becoming Friends season 7. It's slowly but surely he's losing like long-term viewers,
Mm-hmm.
and he's doing more and more things risque to try to reacquire people. That's what I look at his channel right now.
Yeah. Is he doing Twitch streaming anymore?
I don't know. I haven't actually talked to him in over 2 years.
We had him
Just
on the
wanted your
show.
opinion on him because like last time he was on PK, people said don't bring him back.
Yeah. He what last time he was on PKA, I don't know if it still is, but it was one of my lowest rated YouTube videos that I've ever put up, and I have like 3,000 videos. It's definitely like bottom 5, and but sometimes bad rate. Like I watch MMA a lot, and there are fighters that people love to hate. You know, they absolutely want this guy on their TV so that they can see him lose. And if you're Dana White, you're like, I don't care why they're buying the pay-per-view. I only care that they're buying the pay-per-view. So the fact that Boogie got a lot of dislikes, like, you know, if you think it's a bad show, that makes me sad.
All right.
If you love to hate him, that's different. What were you saying?
Before we get off of these train wrecks, I heard through the grapevine that you're still on Team Blade.
Shit. Blade is a troubled dude. I don't know. Do you think he's guilty of hurting that girl?
I don't know anything about that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not informed enough to make a decision on that. But like Blade has done enough under the influence of alcohol to give me a really good grasp of what kind of person he is. Granted, I've met him twice in real life,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen like behind the scenes stuff that other people don't get to see.
Good
But
experience, right?
right. But at the same time, it's like he comes off as a dude that is spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of his there's a saying that a drunk man says what an honest man thinks. And every time I see a clip of Blade, I think about that saying. And you see him like throwing dogs and being racist and like pissing on other men's wives and things like that nature. And it's like just crossing lines over and over and over again. And in my head, I feel like Blade would think about these things if he was sober, but he's actually acting on them because he's drunk. And to me, that makes him a piece of shit.
You're winning me over. Like throwing the dog, I hate it. Part of me is like, is that a mistake I could ever make? It's not a mistake I have ever made. Throw the cat, by the way. I'm on team cat thrower, just for the record. Yeah.
Can't say that. I have 2 cats now.
Dude, if you threw your cat, she'd be perfectly fine. It'd be no different than her jumping off the fireplace mantle.
I understand this. My cats jump off the refrigerator.
PKA reference, you will understand. Cats are built for that.
But my cats will whoop my ass.
I feel like I could, if I'm sitting on a couch and I just throw a cat, like, you know, from the chest gently, right? So it arcs and lands on the other side of the coffee table. That cat's fine. That cat is 100% fine. He jumps farther than you just threw him all the time. I'm joking, but I'm only half joking. I do feel like, and the dog he threw was the least athletic dog in the world, right? If it was one of those 18-pound agility dogs that like goes through the sticks on TV, then it might have landed on its feet in an athletic way. If it was one of those farm dogs that jumps and then Matrix style goes sideways through the fence that you see on Reddit, then that might have been a different thing. But that dog was a fucking slug, a hot dog bun with 2 short legs, and it was
live without humans.
Can't live without humans. It's an act of cruelty to throw that thing. and I have a hard time getting past it. The girl thing, the video is so bad, I don't know what to make of it.
You're talking about the one in the RV at this point, right?
Yeah, he was clearly drunk and trying to get with some girl who was too drunk to consent. But he was drunk too, and I have a difficult time. Like, while morally I know it's bad, I don't morally know what the punishment should be when two people are drunk. I'm very confused. It was sketch. Yeah, it was sus. I don't know.
Here's my thing.
Okay.
He had a person in the RV with him tell him not to go back there. He did it anyway.
Mm.
Like, generally, like, if sober Woody was in that situation, you're sleepy and there's one bed, you go back there and sleep with the drunk girl.
No.
Even if you're tired. No, you sleep in a chair, you lay on the floor, you sleep on the sofa. You find another means.
Yeah. That where he should have been. I don't know, bro. Fuck. He's an alcoholic, right? He's like a legit alcoholic whose body is degrading. It's going horribly. He can't stop himself. He's making bad decisions. He's doing things that hurt people. That's all true.
Here's my call to arms. Can people please stop donating for this guy to drink?
Well,
granted, I live my life off donations, right?
Right.
And I'm the person that shouldn't be saying this, but at the same time, like, I've watched so many men in my life drink themselves to death, and they don't need motivation to do it. And, like, I don't know how to really say this. It's like, it hurts me to watch somebody drink themselves to death because I've lost a lot of, like, prominent men in my life from alcohol. There's a disease called cirrhosis of the liver, what you eventually get. And it is a painful, slow death that I don't wish upon anybody. That's the reason I'm making this statement. Like, please stop doing this to him. If he does it on his own, to himself, at least you can have a clear conscience that you didn't help push toward him.
That's a good point. Yeah, dude. Bro. I think Wings is the alcohol's making. I meant to say Blade. I think the alcohol's making Blade a bad person because I've seen the best side of him. It's not as easy for me to throw him away as I think it would be someone who spent less time with him. And it's not like we spent a lot of time together, just like a couple weekends.
Blade's a chill dude. Like, when he's sober,
yeah.
Blade's the kind of guy that would have your back and you know he's got your back. But, like, drunk Blade's a whole different person. But is drunk Blade who Blade really is?
You can't want it enough for someone else to clean it up, right? Like, you can't wish somebody else sober. You can't wish somebody else healthy. They have to want this on their own. So I'm not,
a fat pile of shit.
Say that again.
I feel you. I'm still a fat pile of shit. And I had my stomach cut out.
You can't do it on someone else's behalf. But I also, I don't want to throw him away just yet. I've seen what he can be. That's that.
But at the same time, you've also seen what he's done, and, like, at some point, you got to throw him away. I threw him away when he started being racist again. I gave him a pass on the first time he was, like, openly racist, but the second time he did it, no, you don't get a second pass.
I have a problem with him. I have a problem with that. I think I have a bigger problem than average with the way he hits on other people's wives. Bro.
Hits on them. He literally makes out with them.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that stuff
dude, took him in.
Dude got a divorce over it. Like, he altered the course of somebody's life in a negative way. Like, that's I've only seen it on TV. I'm not close to a lot of alcoholics, but you see afterwards, they're like, dude, the devastation and destruction that was in my wake was formidable. It was a big deal. I created big problems for people, and I'm sorry. That's where I feel like Blade needs to get to. Blade, the shit you're doing to people, and dogs for that matter, is wrong. And it's serious. And these consequences are forever. You're doing some real harm. And why? Because you won't stop drinking? Like, get your shit together. So, I'm mad at him.
I didn't want to pull you out there, but I just don't see how you could fence it on Blade. I understand, like
Huh.
you see the good side of him, but at the same time, it's like I'm sure people give the same lecture to it with me. It's like Wings is a terrible toxic friend. Why do you ever talk to him? Blah 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 blah
This
blah.
is what it
But at the
sounds
same
like
time,
to
I'm not
go
throwing
away.
dogs and like
I
hitting on
fail to
people's
see
wives
how
and
you
being
still
accused of
think
rape.
that Blade is cool when he's a degenerate alcoholic who
1
has
second, Wings.
assaulted women on camera multiple times, thrown a dog, and constantly says the N-word. Lol. Kinda feel like that's unforgivable, no?
Let me read that. I got a donation. I want to read it to you, Wings. I fail to see how he's talking to me, still thinks that Blade is cool when he's a degenerate alcoholic who's assaulted women on camera multiple times, thrown a dog, constantly says the N-word. Kind of feels like that's unforgivable, no? Dude, yeah, I hear you. And you didn't even mention, I guess you said assaulted women, but married women, like adds to it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up. And the damage he does is real, and the consequences are huge.
And he don't give a shit. Like he's drunk on some RV somewhere.
Maybe
I don't know
I'm
where
giving him too much credit. I keep hoping that there's this old Blade inside who's, will someday reemerge. I don't know. Get your shit together, Blade. You're gonna find no one's on your team anymore. So
Whatever happened to his partner in crime, Ice Poseidon? Like, what happened to that dude? He had a falling off quick.
I'm out of the loop on that, but it's my understanding that Ice Poseidon decided to clean up his act and try to curate a kinder audience and not be so scummy anymore. But I don't know. I haven't watched his content for a bit.
I've never watched his content. He came at me one time, and I just replied back, "Yo, dude, I don't bleed out my ass on the daily. Peace."
I don't know if he's ever come at me. I'm not worried. Thanks for the sub, Beverly Hills. But
Still love you, Papa Wood Tea.
trying to think of what else there is to cover. PKA hit episode 500. That's kind of neat. It's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Oh, people! Oh, I bet they asked you to come on, right?
Yeah, thousands of times.
I get that.
Every time there's a milestone, I'm getting asked to come on.
Dude, milestones are a problem with the PKA audience. They're always like,
I live in the world where milestones don't mean anything. The only thing that really means anything is the longevity of the show.
So we had a 10-year milestone followed up by 500. By the way, have we missed that many episodes? It's weird to me because we had a 10-year episode, like 20 episodes before 500, and you would think 10 years was 520. So what did we miss? 40 weeks of it? We miss a year over the course of 10 years? Like, what the fuck? But I don't know. They say the first PKA was 10 years ago, and so that happened, and then the 500 happened, and we just
2010, yeah.
So I don't know. But we should have no more milestones for a little bit now. And then once you hit 500, like 550 is not a milestone. We can get past 50s being milestones, right? Then we can start moving on to like 600.
I think 750.
Right? That's when I had 500,000 subs, I was excited about 600, but it wasn't like going from 1 to 2, going from 5 to 6, going from 5 to 750,000. Those are the next milestones. I don't know. My chat says PKA 510 is the next milestone. They're fucking bastards.
With the way Kyle's piling on the weight, it might be a heart attack's in the brew.
Oh, be nice. I think Kyle's dropping weight too. So
He is dropping weight. Like from what I've seen in pictures, I don't actively follow the show, but like there was a point where he was getting, I don't want to say he was getting heavy, but he was photographed poorly. You know how some can get photographed at a certain angle and it just looks like you're just this swamp creature?
Dude, there's a few pictures. There's a picture of me. So I'm paramotoring and I have my helmet and wings for like one frame. I look straight down at my helmet and I get this upward shot like from my belly button to my double chin, which, by the way, must be what it looks like to blow me. Bummer for Jackie. And it is the worst picture in the world. And I've seen it so many times. And I feel his pain.
It's like people want me to rag on Kyle about gaining weight over and over again, but it's obviously you're just taking really, really shitty pictures of him and blowing them out of proportion.
Yeah. Dude, how many videos have you made? I'm going to call it
3,600.
So 3,600 videos, and then I'm going to guess another 1,000 live streams or more.
Oh, way more than that. And I'm not even counting my secondary channels here.
Right? You got to have unattractive moments.
Mhm.
Anyone who spends enough time on camera will eventually look bad. And anytime who spends enough time on a mic will eventually sound stupid. These are the rules of being recorded.
Oh, my football head and my head dent, which I would like to go.
Do you have
off
a
the
head
bat.
dent? Is that a thing?
It is a thing.
Is
You
it?
wear your headset long enough and you're bald like I am.
Uh-huh.
Skin on your head kind of like conforms to it, and it looks like you have a dent. It springs back. I promise you, it does.
Uh-huh.
Your skull is not forming around your headset for wearing it too long. Most people get away with it because they had a head full of hair.
Dude, I have a few pictures where I'm looking bald. I did a joke about it on the last PKA, but like, am I balding, chat? I don't know. Right now, I can see my hair like an inch in. Is that normal, or I don't know? The once great hairline is fading on me, Wings.
This shit right here. See what balding looks like. I can't see. I got to pull this thing down so I can see what the live camera feed's looking like. Right there. It's bald.
Yeah, I guess.
And my cats have got my office tore up too.
So, how many? What do you got now for pets?
I got an American short hair, which is right here on the camera. I got
that's an American short hair is a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's funny. You could say Labrador, Great Dane, Irish Setter. Exactly. I know what all those things are, but cats are just cats.
I have a gray cat.
Okay, gray cat. I'm familiar with that kind.
But yeah, but there's different breeds of cats. This is an American short hair. You can tell by his face and his coat.
Actually, he looks pretty badass. I didn't really observe his like pattern before. I'm looking at him on your stream right now. He's a handsome cat.
Yeah, he is. He's a sweetie. This is Dr. Grayson.
This is what it sounds like.
He's named Doctor because when we bought him,
Why is Pile so red?
I get all my cats from rescues.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not a very well taken care of rescue. He had a really bad case of ear mites. And he got knocked off the table early on by Rocco and injured his leg. So he ends up costing me like $600 right off the gate. So I named him Dr. Grayson. Get him back healthy. And Mr. Rocco, which is a chartreux, and I have a Shih Tzu named Bailey.
So what's
like the dogs or the wives?
A chartreux and a Shih Tzu. If you were to describe them like black cat, like what would they look like?
Rocco is gray tuxedo.
Okay.
White mustache. This is gray with black tiger stripe. Bailey is brown, like poop.
Okay.
You've seen some people call them Shih Tzus, but it's actually pronounced Shih Tzu.
And
like they're like long haired designer dogs.
Does he have like foldy skin too, like crinkly faces in the Shih Tzu?
No.
I'm mixing them up. Oh.
Bailey. Get her. And we got Bongo, which is like a mutt. He's like a mixture of a Rottweiler and a German Shepherd.
Ooh.
He has heart. So like I get to pay out through the teeth for that.
Did you just get him, I guess?
Wife's dog.
Oh, it's your wife's dog. Okay.
Yeah, I bought Bailey for the wife because let me tell you the hierarchy of my story. I bought Rocco because I was lonely. I was living by myself. I wanted somebody to be there with me.
Okay.
I got Rocco. Like cats are low maintenance. I can just put food and water down. I don't have to really like worry about him peeing in the house or anything.
That cat loves you, man. I'm looking at your stream.
Yes, this cat does love me. So like I got Rocco, and I started feeling bad for Rocco because when I'd leave the house or something, he's there by himself.
Mm-hmm.
I considered getting another cat. Then I was dating my current wife at the time, and she's like, "Get me a cat." I'm like, okay, we'll do this. I want another cat to companion my cat, so we'll get you a cat. So we found Grayson. Grayson is a lovey cat. They meshed well and are happy, but Grayson bonded with me instead of her. So now I have two cats that like me and no cats that like her. And then we brought Bongo in. I brought Bongo in a little early because I was trying to hide the fact I was married.
Okay.
I made a little story up that Bongo was like a neighbor's. It was actually my wife's dog.
Okay.
And Bongo was getting a little mistreated with the wife. She kind of neglected him. So when I went to pick him up from our house, he had like patches of skin missing on his back. He had like a really bad infection.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I got to take him to the vet. Well, apparently he hadn't been getting his shots. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I give him an infection and shots. I ended up spending like $600 there. And I had him tested for like parasites and heartworms and all the other stuff. And like he ended up having heartworms. Heartworms is a death sentence for a dog. It's like these little
Yeah.
worms that grow up to like, I think they grow up to 12 inches. It might be 8.
It's really curable too, though. We've had dogs with heartworms.
Yeah, they live in the lungs and the heart chambers and stuff like that. So there's a thing called fast cure and slow cure. So basically, if you slow cure, you give them heartworm treatment and they get no new heartworms, but you got to let the worms inside them live out their life cycle. And this is a problem because the worms inside of them living out their life cycle can burrow into capillaries, into the lungs, create passages, cause internal bleeding and things like that when they're moving around. And when they die, they can die in such a way that it actually blocks blood flow and cause like strokes, things of that nature. So we decided to opt for the fast kill, which is more expensive, but it fixes the dog. That's the animal roundup. Bailey's sleeping, but Grayson's here. And cats are awesome. I was never a cat person until I got one.
Yeah, I think that's where I am. Like I've my grandmother had cats, and those cats were not people person. I'd just try to love them and reach out to them, and they'd scratch me and stuff, and just jerks, asshole cats. But looking at your cat,
Cats are one person animals. For the most part.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody new comes in the house, he's hiding under the bed.
You know what's funny? So like Wings and chat, imagine this scenario, right? You get a dog, dad doesn't really want the dog, but he gives in, right? So everyone else is loving on the dog, petting on the dog, giving it tons of attention while dad is standoffish in the corner. It turns out the dog is like, oh, it's going to be my mission to get that guy to like me, right? And the dog just goes overboard, like loving up the dad, etc., until they eventually bond. That happens in my house. In my house, my dogs love me. As soon as I walk in the room, they're all like abandoning Hope or Jackie or whatever so that they can get attention from me. And now George Foreman, a.k.a. Freya, you know, she's like, she calls me Uncle Woody. Uncle Woody is the greatest. And I play that she's 2, so she's not very smart. I make her touch her head like this, and then I blow Zerberts on her belly. And she falls for it again and again. Touch your head. I think there's something on your head. And then I get her. Uncle Woody got me. She loves me. As soon as she comes in the house, they're seeking me out. And I think it's all because I don't want anything to do with these people. And so they want my attention.
Fun fact about my cat. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, good.
Was going to name this cat Bucket, but I decided that was a little too far.
Oh, God.
I was like, wonder if they'll take the name Bucket.
It's a good joke, though. My chat's loving it.
I listened to what he is talking about, how Freya's connecting with him when everybody else wants Freya's attention.
Yeah, of course he was. So I'm trying to think.
Every time she says her name, I think of like Freya's like the Scandinavian god.
She's a little blonde-haired girl. Her dad looks like a Viking, kind of. I hadn't thought of him that lens, but yeah, maybe that's where it comes from.
Freya is a Scandinavian god. She married Odin. She married Odin.
Oh, I didn't know.
Freya.
I think I'm Googling her name. I think I spelled it wrong. Oh, you're right. An Old Norse Freya. A preeminent goddess of Norse mythology. Oh, what do you know?
Maybe that's why he looks like a Viking. Maybe he's really into that kind of stuff.
No, I'm just talking about like genetically, like he's athletic and he's blonde. He's Colin's parkour coach. Yeah, so the backstory, people have probably heard this before, but when Colin started parkour, he was like one of the first people at this gym. And, Colin's special needs. He doesn't communicate as well. And Zach, that's the coach's name, was really good to Colin.
Parkour. I think of like the dudes that used to do like the building running montages
Yes.
on YouTube.
It's that, but it's a gym. So inside they have like gymnastics apparatus and bouldering walls and stuff like that, padded mats where they can learn that sort of thing. So Colin's at parkour class, learning to jump and flip and shit like that. And the coaches are just making sure that he's okay. And it means a lot. Like if he didn't hear their instructions at first, they work with him. If he didn't stand in line correctly, which he's actually good at, they were shuffle him back in and understand that he's a special needs kid. And if the other kids weren't treating him properly, they set a culture where they should. And we appreciated that for, a decade. So then when he needed help in his life, Jackie was there. That's what happened there.
You know what just dawned on me?
Yeah.
Your kids are almost adults at this point.
Dude, Hope's 21.
Oh,
right?
I had Hope 14.
No. Someone said Hope should come on the next drinking episode, and it hit me. I was like, what the? Oh my God, you're right. Like, can you believe it? Colin's 17.
I was 23 when we met.
Wow. Dude, Wings, we've like legit gotten older. Colin's...
I'm your age when we met. Like, I'm like 34.
Yeah. I think I was 36 when I started YouTube. But what's funny is, like, when I started YouTube, I was this unfathomably old grandfather of the scene, right? And now, like, dude, Hutch has to be 36, maybe older, right? Like, all these dudes are older than I was.
Skyrim grandma.
Say it again, Skyrim grandma?
Yeah, they're Skyrim grandma now. There's a grandma that plays Skyrim.
Oh, someone in my chat said Hutch is 36. Yeah, so that's like, yeah. I was...
Hutch is one of those people I got along with, but I never could get over his holier than thou attitude. Which is funny because I'm more of a left-leaning person, and Hutch is like super left-leaning. Like, he's the kind of guy this is my policies. I want it in your face at all times. Like, where I'm more laid back now. It's like, I like to help people.
I hear where you're coming from on that. I've seen Hutch, like, I think Hutch is a good guy. When Hutch had a really big voice at Machinima, I felt like he aimed his guns at people like us, like the independent YouTube contractors out there making videos, trying to grow. He was always judging and always sending his people at us. And then when he went solo, he became us. And I guess I'm not quite 100% over that transformation. Anders was worse. Anders was judging hard. He made like hate videos and shit. And then the second he went independent, he's begging for likes and uploading daily and doing all the things he said he hated.
Anders still doing like the how do you know if you? I doubt you even watch him. Like last time I looked at Anders channel, he did the same video for like 6 years.
He's retired, isn't he?
Possibly. But like Anders used to play Gary's mod, and he made the same video for like 6 or 7 years.
His last YouTube upload was 2 years ago. I don't know. Anders played Gmod hide and seek for years. Yeah, he made a style of video that people loved, but that I personally
I wanted to parody him so badly.
He just played and laughed, and he would like edit together the parts that he found funny while he played. So it was just one laugh track to the next laugh track to the next, again and again and again. And I liked it a couple times, but it's like, this is just the same thing every time.
I wanted to make a peanut butter sandwich and then have like a video of me just laughing in the corner of me making a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, and again, I think I'm just a little salty because when they were at their like peak of influence, they used that peak of influence to tear other people down. And
I think Hutchins came from a place of jealousy because he took the job in Machinima before he realized how much money everybody else would make.
yeah, he was making the most, I think, when he got that job, right? Like no one else was making any money, and he had like a real machinima salary.
Like, he
And
was a salary employee, and then it blew up, and everybody else is making more money than him.
right, like he was making like $100,000 when no one was making anything, and then he was making $100,000 when $100,000 was a lot less than like I was making. So, and then when that happened, he still had a bigger voice. He was freaking the voice of machinima. But then he decided to become the conscience of machinima, and so Scene Enders also kind of put Minecraft on the map and helped Captain Sparkle's transition. That's true. That's true. Scene Enders did put. I wonder how different Minecraft would be if it wasn't for Scene Enders. Would it have followed that same evolution?
If I was Scene Enders, I would be pissed. Scene Enders should have made a lot of fucking money if he played that right.
He did make a lot of money though. Not Captain Sparkle's money, but he made plenty. Have you ever seen Captain Sparkle's house?
I have not.
Dude, it's pimp.
Wait, I'm old enough to remember Captain Sparkles when he was Pros Don't Talk Shit.
Everyone says that, dude. Like I have a fine home in a place where fine homes are not super expensive. He has a better house in a place where houses are crazy expensive. I think it's on a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean or something. Like it's fucking.
I'm a worrywart, and like even if I was making Captain Sparkle the money, I'd be like, what happens when the faucet gets turned off and I got to pay like the house taxes on this house?
I don't know. Like if he sells it as a really good investment, like I have hopes that. So I bought a lot of acreage in the city of Raleigh. And the hope is that someday, I don't know, 15, 20 years from now, this thing sells for 14 million or, who knows what. We'll see.
14 million, but my land has went through the roof in the last years. My land was worth, when I started YouTube, about 13,000 an acre.
Uh-huh.
Now I've set it up into 2 different half-acre plots. Right? And they're both worth 90,000 each.
Nice.
It was like, and it's only going to get better because they're building housing developments, and they're eventually going to put a bridge over the Waccamaw, and that's going to make me 15 minutes from the beach. It's like that's only going to help.
It will.
They built a school. They built they're building the neighborhood up around me. It's like where I live at's now becoming desirable, where it used to be like somewhere back toward the swamp.
There's a big subdivision popping up not far from my house, and I see it, and I'm like, cool. It's like one less plot of land I'll have to compete with someday when maybe I sell. I don't know. Jackie never wants to sell. Jackie wants to. So my parents don't live in a really big house, and it became something of an obstacle to visit them. You go and it's 4 people. In addition to them, so that's 6 people all cramming into a house that's not that big, and just like no one ever has any room or like space to exist. And small spaces, I think, kind of breed conflict. You put too many fish in the tank and they fight each other. And Jackie thinks that this place with its pool and its guest house and such could just be a grandchild magnet, and that's what she would like.
How do you feel about the pool?
I love my pool. I dig it in a big way. My chat's telling me to add El Presador.
Every time.
Fuck El Presador. Fuck that guy. He's the cat lady of YouTube. El Presador does nothing but take. That guy's a taker. He doesn't do anything good. El Presador can suck my giant cock, which is surely bigger than his.
El Presador, we will add him when he can read 1 full page of a Harry Potter book. Half-page bullshit. He's got to go somewhere in the middle.
El Presador was like talking shit about people in between saying that he doesn't have enough money to get the transmission on his car fixed. Suck that guy. Or fuck that guy, I meant to say. Just let him figure out his own life. He's not invited on my stream.
El Presador loves to hate on me, but it's like I only really have one debt in my life now, and it's an automobile.
Mm-hmm.
And I have disposable income. I'm married, and he's like in his 50s alone with like a transmissionless Dodge Charger. Are you really hating on me?
Arian Foster wants to join us. We should get him on.
To talk to him.
Say that again.
I'd love to talk to Arian Foster.
Dude, Arian Foster. I was
seen him.
all wrong about him. Before I knew him, before I knew anything, I just assumed he was a dumb jock because he was a professional football player. And you quickly learn that that is not the case. Oh, shit. Oh, this is your Twitch chat. Your general and your nothing private. Good. Goddamn. Sharing Discord is bad. Take it from me. But how do I add? I want to add Arian Foster. Let me see. Is he live streaming right now?
Is he actively wanting to get in our chat, or are you guys trying to just
Ooh, that's a good question.
root him in here? Well, I seen a clip the other day where he was on like this Fox News thing. And had some like blonde chick that was like trying to like lambaste him with questions, and he took every question with elegance. I was like, it's a guy I'd like to know.
All right, I'm having a boomer moment. Need to add. All right, I sent Arian a Discord friend request.
My Discord is a little. To give me his name, I can move him in because like my Discord, just locked down.
So I'm gonna join Arian's call, and then I'm gonna invite you.
Okay.
Mic check, mic check. All right, I fucked up something. I clicked join. Did I click it too slow? What did I do? Oh, wait.
Woody,
Hey, how are you?
what's good, brother?
Not much, man. So I was with Wings of Redemption. We've talked about him on the show before.
Oh, I'm well aware of Wings, my brother.
Let me get him added.
Okay, but let me turn my cam off real quick.
All right. So, forgive me, I'm a Discord boomer trying to figure out how to add Wings to our call.
Unsure.
Oh, good. I'm not alone.
Yeah, unsure, man. I guess the same way you added him.